Good day to all my wonderful viewers. I'm Dr. Eleanor Mitchell, and today I'm going to share something that might surprise you. What if I told you that the milk you've been drinking for decades could actually be working against your health goals? Or that making one simple switch in your refrigerator could help ease your joint pain, boost your energy, and support your bone health better than what you're drinking now? This innocent-looking beverage isn't always your friend, especially as we enter our golden years. But don't worry, I'm not just going to tell you what to avoid. I'll share the alternatives that could transform how you feel, starting in just days after making the switch. I discovered this myself at 67, when persistent digestive issues led me to re-examine everything I was consuming. The change was so dramatic that I've made it my mission to share this information with as many seniors as possible. Today, we'll explore the 3 types of milk you should absolutely avoid after 60, and the 3 excellent alternatives that can actually support your health goals. Stay with me. Your body will thank you. Before we dive into the specifics, let me tell you about Martha, one of my dearest friends and patients. Martha was 72 and struggling with persistent bloating, fatigue, and increasing joint pain. She'd been to several specialists who prescribed medications that only masked her symptoms. What's worse, her bone density scan showed concerning results, despite drinking milk faithfully every single day of her life. This is Martha now, at 76. She's hiking 3 times a week, playing with her grandchildren without pain, and her last bone scan actually showed improvement, something her doctor hadn't seen in a patient her age in years. What changed? Simply the type of milk she was consuming. Martha's story isn't unique. I've seen these transformations hundreds of times in my practice. The simple truth is that our bodies change as we age, and what worked for us at 30 or 40 may not be ideal at 60, 70, or beyond. That's why I'm so passionate about sharing this information with you today. It's not just about avoiding certain products. It's about making informed choices that align with your body's current needs. Now, let's talk about why this matters so much. As we age, our bodies face unique challenges. Our digestive systems become more sensitive. Inflammation becomes a greater concern. Nutrient absorption typically decreases. Bone density naturally declines. Cardiovascular health requires extra attention. The milk choices you make can either help address these issues or make them worse. Let's start with the 3 types you should avoid. Let's talk about the 3 types of milk that most seniors should consider removing from their diet. Remember, everyone's body is different, but these recommendations are based on extensive research and clinical experience with thousands of older adults. Milk 1 to avoid. Conventional full-fat dairy milk. The first milk to reconsider is conventional full-fat dairy milk, the kind most of us grew up drinking. Now, why would I suggest avoiding something we've been told our whole lives is healthy? 3 main reasons. First, conventional dairy often contains trace amounts of artificial hormones and antibiotics. While regulatory agencies consider these levels safe, our aging bodies process these compounds differently. Many seniors find that eliminating these substances reduces unexplained inflammation and fatigue. Second, the saturated fat content. While some saturated fat is part of a balanced diet, the specific types found in conventional dairy can be problematic for seniors with cardiovascular concerns, and heart health becomes increasingly important as we age. The lactose. Did you know that approximately 65% of people gradually lose the ability to properly digest lactose after age 65? This leads to symptoms many seniors simply attribute to getting older: gas, bloating, discomfort, when actually it's a digestive issue that can be resolved. I remember Helen, an 84-year-old patient, who swore she didn't have lactose intolerance because she'd been drinking milk her whole life without problems. When she finally agreed to a 2-week trial without conventional milk, her chronic stomach discomfort disappeared completely. She was astonished that her body had changed without her realizing it. Milk 2 to avoid: ultra-pasteurized milk. The second milk to be cautious about is ultra-pasteurized milk, which has become increasingly common on store shelves. Ultra-pasteurization heats milk to about 280 degrees Fahrenheit for a few seconds, compared to regular pasteurization, which uses about 161 degrees Fahrenheit. This gives the milk an extremely long shelf life, sometimes months unopened at room temperature. Convenient? Absolutely. But this process fundamentally changes the milk in ways that can be problematic for seniors. First, it denatures proteins, making them potentially more difficult to digest for sensitive systems. Second, it destroys beneficial enzymes that would normally help with digestion. Third, many seniors report that it simply doesn't taste as good, which can contribute to reduced milk consumption and therefore less calcium intake overall. My patient Robert switched to ultra-pasteurized milk because he lived alone and wanted milk that would last longer. But after a few months, he mentioned offhandedly that he'd nearly stopped drinking milk altogether because it just doesn't taste right anymore. When he switched back to regularly pasteurized milk, he found himself enjoying it again and getting the calcium benefits he needed. Milk 3 to avoid: sweetened non-dairy alternatives. The third milk to avoid might surprise you, especially if you've already made the switch away from dairy. It's sweetened non-dairy alternatives. Many people switch to plant-based milks, assuming they're automatically healthier, but many commercial versions contain surprising amounts of added sugars, often 10 to 12 grams per cup. That's about 3 teaspoons of sugar in every serving. For seniors concerned about blood sugar management, weight maintenance, dental health inflammation, these added sugars work directly against your health goals. Additionally, many sweetened non-dairy milks contain thickeners and stabilizers like carrageenan, which some research suggests may cause digestive inflammation, the last thing seniors with sensitive systems need. I think of my neighbor James, who proudly told me he'd switched to almond milk for his health. When I asked him to show me which one, I noticed it contained 11 grams of added sugar per cup. He was using it daily in his coffee, cereal, and smoothies, unknowingly consuming significant added sugar. When he switched to an unsweetened version, he actually lost 7 pounds over the next 2 months without making any other changes. Now, I haven't shared these concerns to worry you, but to empower you. Knowledge is the first step toward better choices. The good news is that there are excellent alternatives that can actually support your health goals as a senior. Options that provide calcium without the downsides we just discussed. Let's explore the 3 milk alternatives that I most often recommend to my senior patients. These choices support bone health, are easier to digest, and can even provide additional health benefits specific to our needs as we age. Are you ready to discover what should be in your refrigerator instead? Let's continue. 3 milks to choose milk. The first milk I recommend for many seniors is organic A2 milk. If you enjoy traditional dairy milk but find it causes mild discomfort, A2 milk might be your solution. Regular milk contains both A1 and A2 beta-casein proteins. However, research suggests that the A1 protein may trigger inflammation and digestive discomfort in sensitive individuals, which includes many seniors. A2 milk comes from cows that naturally produce only the A2 protein, which is structurally similar to the protein in human, goat, and sheep milk. Many seniors who thought they could no longer tolerate dairy find they can enjoy A2 milk without issues. The organic certification ensures you're avoiding those hormones and antibiotics we discussed earlier. I've seen remarkable results with this simple switch. My patient Doris had given up dairy entirely due to digestive issues, but deeply missed her morning cereal with cold milk. When she tried organic A2 milk, she was delighted to find she could enjoy it without any discomfort. Small changes like this can have a tremendous impact on quality of life. My second recommendation is unsweetened fortified oat milk. Oat milk has become increasingly popular, and for good reason. It offers several advantages specifically beneficial for seniors. First, it contains beta-glucans, a type of soluble fiber that has been shown to help lower cholesterol levels. Heart health remains a priority as we age, and this is a bonus benefit beyond calcium. Second, it has a naturally creamy texture and mild flavor that most seniors find pleasant and familiar, unlike some other alternative milks that can taste too different from what you're used to. Third, when fortified, it provides calcium and vitamin D comparable to dairy milk, supporting bone health. And fourth, it's generally well tolerated even by those with sensitive digestive systems. My sister-in-law Barbara switched to oat milk after being diagnosed with both lactose intolerance and a mild almond allergy in her late 60s. She was delighted to find that oat milk worked beautifully in her tea, cereal, and even in baking. Her doctor was pleased to see her cholesterol numbers improve at her next checkup as well, an added benefit she wasn't expecting. Just remember to choose unsweetened varieties to avoid those unnecessary added sugars. My third recommendation is one many seniors haven't tried yet: unsweetened fortified pea protein milk. Pea protein milk is an excellent option that deserves more attention in the senior community for several reasons. First, it typically contains 8 to 10 grams of protein per cup, comparable to dairy milk and higher than most other plant alternatives. Adequate protein intake becomes increasingly important as we age to maintain muscle mass and strength. Second, it's naturally free of common allergens like nuts, soy, and dairy, making it an excellent choice if you have developed sensitivities. When fortified, it provides excellent levels of calcium, vitamin D, and often vitamin B12, three nutrients that become more critical as we age. It has a very low environmental impact, which many of my patients appreciate. My patient Gerald was reluctant to try pea milk. The name didn't sound appealing to him, but after struggling with muscle loss during recovery from surgery, he needed additional protein in his diet. He agreed to a blind taste test of several milk alternatives in my office and selected the pea milk as his favorite without knowing what it was. He now drinks it daily and has regained impressive strength in his rehabilitation program. Now that you know what to choose and what to avoid, let me share some practical tips for making these changes successfully. Transition gradually. Mix your new milk choice with your old one, gradually increasing the proportion of the new milk over a week or two. This allows your taste buds and digestive system to adjust comfortably. Temperature matters. Some alternative milks taste better cold, while others are more palatable at room temperature. Experiment to find your preference. Try different brands. There can be significant differences in taste and texture between brands of the same type of milk. Don't give up on an option after trying just one brand. Consider different milks for different uses. You might prefer one type for drinking, another for cereals, and yet another for cooking. There's no rule that says you must use the same milk for everything. Read labels carefully. Look for options with no added sugars, fortified with calcium and vitamin D, no carrageenan if you have digestive sensitivities. I keep both oat milk and A2 milk in my refrigerator. I use oat milk in my morning coffee and for baking, while I prefer A2 milk on cereal and for making smoothies. Finding what works for you is part of the journey. Let me address some questions I frequently hear from my patients. Aren't plant milks more expensive? Initially, yes. Some alternatives may cost a bit more. However, many of my patients find that store brands are reasonably priced, and the health benefits can lead to fewer medical expenses over time. Additionally, Options like oat milk can be made at home quite inexpensively. Will I still get enough calcium? Absolutely. If you choose fortified varieties, check the label to ensure your selection provides about 30% of your daily calcium needs per cup, comparable to dairy milk. What about protein? Dairy and pea protein milks offer the most protein. If you choose almond, oat, or rice milk, which are lower in protein, simply be mindful to include other protein sources in your diet. I've been drinking regular milk my whole life. Why change now? Our body's needs and abilities change as we age. What worked perfectly at 40 may not be ideal at 70. The digestive enzymes that process lactose, for instance, naturally decrease with age in many people. Being responsive to your body's current needs rather than past habits is key to aging well. I have a challenge for you. Try a 2-week milk swap. Choose one of the recommended alternatives we discussed today and commit to using it exclusively for just 2 weeks. During this time, pay attention to how your digestion feels, your energy levels, any changes in joint discomfort, your overall sense of well-being. Keep a simple daily note on your phone or a small notebook by your refrigerator. This short experiment can provide valuable insights about how different foods affect your unique body. I'd love to hear about your experience. Share your results in the comments below, or if you're watching this as part of a senior center program, discuss with your group next time you meet. To recap, the 3 milks to avoid are conventional full-fat dairy milk, ultra-pasteurized milk, sweetened non-dairy alternatives. And the 3 excellent choices for seniors are organic A2 milk, unsweetened fortified oat milk, unsweetened fortified pea protein milk. Remember, this simple change can make a significant difference in how you feel day to day. Your nutrition needs evolve as you age, and adjusting accordingly is a powerful form of self-care. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I'm passionate about helping seniors thrive through simple, evidence-based changes like these. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe and share this video with friends or family members who might benefit. Senior health tips designed specifically for our unique needs. Until next time, this is Dr. Eleanor Mitchell, wishing you vibrant health and joyful days ahead.